All right, are we live? There we go.
Hello.
Hey, how
Hi.
are you? How's everybody doing?
How's
What's
it
happening? So, we're gonna give people still a few minutes to trickle in, but please feel free to say hi in chat if you're here. Hi, Shadowwind. If you are joining us through a link from Twitter or Facebook or an email that we sent out or a Kickstarter update, it's easy and free to join Twitch. You can, just log in with Facebook or make a new account right now. This way you can just chat with us and we can see your questions in chat. We'll read them out loud, and you can interact with other people here as well. Super fun, really nice community. It's free and easy. And we are here to
tell you everything.
With a little Q&A, hopefully, but even if you don't have any questions, we'll have some answers anyway. And this is a milestone for our Tracy Queen Kickstarter, which is live now. And when did we unlock this milestone, Lynsey?
Pretty early on. I think it was our 100% funding milestone, which means
so that was
we did it in about 24 hours.
24 hours? Yeah, amazing. This campaign has been really killer. It's up there as slowly passing all of our other campaigns.
Not even that slowly, actually.
Steadily. That's what I meant. Steadily passing all of our other campaigns. It looks like this is going to be our best campaign yet, possibly by far. So we're really excited. The support from the community has just been tremendous. People sharing our links and letting other people know about it, talking about it, and commenting on our posts about it has been so freaking helpful. It's amazing. So we're happy to just come here and hang out, and we want to know what people are wondering about. We want to talk about it. We want to answer some questions. We want to have some fun. This is also kind of just a little bit of a celebration and a little bit of a gratitude hangout,
Yeah, we're hoping that, well, not hoping. We're assuming that some folks out there probably have a few questions about Tracy Queen, because this story is pretty
all over the place,
out there,
wacky, wonky, topsy-turvy,
wibbly wobbly.
You like the human banner? Check it out.
Oh yeah, this is our first time with our human banner. That's cool.
Pretty sweet, right? Yeah.
Because we are humans.
Yes. I am perfectly normal human worm baby.
Babies, indeed, yes. And we do
have
the human things, look.
Hatched from normal human eggs and gone through human pupa school, and now we are human adult larvae.
We wear blue jean pants.
Adult blue jean pants. Denim.
And go to the job factory where we do business work.
And then shopping mall.
Indeed. Movie theater.
This is good human beverage.
It contains a stimulant. Okay, well, now that we've freaked everybody out,
we're fielding questions. Go for it.
What do you want to ask us? So the story of Tracy Queen is about a woman who grows up in a crime syndicate. She is meant to take over the syndicate when her grandfather passes the mantle on to her. And she's basically been raised by her grandfather, who leads this syndicate, so she's had a very different upbringing. And when she's in her mid to late 20s, she decides that she wants to branch out on her own and go her own way. So she decides to leave the syndicate and leave violence behind her. That's the only way of life that she's known. And instead she chooses a life of pleasure. And it goes pretty topsy-turvy pretty quickly. She ends up building an army of cyborg clones to protect her from her grandfather's syndicate and also from the king of porn, Dickie Doublefinger. And she makes best friends with a talking raccoon who becomes the general of her army and her cameraman when she makes adult films. So, given that that's the basics of the story, we thought some folks might have some questions for us.
You're gonna have to explain all this again when more people show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was like a practice explanation.
Well, this is also for anyone who might be watching but who might not be signed into chat. So if you are not signed in, please do so that you can enter the chat and ask your questions. You can also, if you are following us on any social media, I'm trying to keep track of it right now, so you could try to ask us a question on social media if you want, and I will try to read it here.
So Shadowwind asks, oh, and we also have a first-time chatter from Summer Sock. Hey, Summer.
Hello.
We will get back to you in 1 second. I'm just gonna check out what Shadowwind said, and then we're happy to read your question.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Shadowwind says, is grandfather really her grandfather? Because I wasn't sure if that was the case, or if it was just a title like Godfather.
Oh,
That's a
good
Lynsey question. I want to know too, actually.
Yes, he is her grandfather.
Biologically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
he is the father of her father.
Her father's father. Okay.
Yes. There's actually a lot of family backstory that is coming, but it hasn't actually shown up in any of the books that we've published yet.
Summer Sock 7. I love that name, Summer Sock 7. It's fun to say. I'm new to Tracy Queen, and I don't know much about the story, and I'm still on the fence about the Kickstarter, because does she open to everyone, no matter how they represent? I'm not sure how to question things, sorry. So, Tracy, do you want to answer that, or do you want me to?
It sounded like you had something ready, so...
Well, you're the writer, so I don't want to misrepresent your plot development.
I can go first, and then you can chime in.
The music is a little loud. Okay, I'm gonna turn it down here, actually. Because if you turn that down, it won't really matter. Okay, so you can field Summer's question. And Shadowwind says, hi, Summer. And Summer says, hi, Shadowwind. Thank you for the note on the music, Shadowwind. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for the question, Summer. It's a really good question. And it's one that is actually kind of really important to the way that people understand Tracy Queen for me. So, Tracy begins her journey at the beginning of issue 1, assuming that she is a straight woman who likes cisgender men.
I would even go as far as to say she doesn't really understand other options.
Right, and
she
that's why
she's
making
other
that
options,
assumption.
really.
Like I said, she's had
Kel,
a really...
Hey, Kel, welcome.
Tracy's had a really limited upbringing where the idea of, like, other options has kind of just not occurred to her. She's been so focused on doing what she was trained to do, which is, like, basically being an assassin and a crime boss, that she dates men, but she clearly is not happy with the situation when we first meet her. And over the course of the 8-part series, she first discovers, like, self-pleasure and that she can be independent. She doesn't need to wait for somebody else to give her pleasure.
Specifically in this case, she doesn't need a male partner.
Yes.
That's her first
little
epiphany, is that she
this,
doesn't need a male partner.
Light bulb moment where she's like, holy crap, I just thought that I did. And that sets everything else in motion. So then she decides to leave the crime syndicate and to become a cam model, where she starts making money on her own for the first time.
If I can interject real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that she is fully aware of all of her options of violence. She knows all of the kinds of violence she can do to someone. But when it comes to pleasure, she literally thinks, like, cis, hetero, P and V sex is the only thing that's gonna work for her.
Right, because she just
that's all she knows.
Things.
So it's like, she starts off super, like, knows everything about violence and nothing about sex, and then...
She broadens her horizons.
Yeah.
Yes.
So back to what Lynsey was saying about...
over the course of the story, she broadens her horizons, I guess is the best way to put it. And she starts to work with other people who are in the adult entertainment industry and to meet other people, and she starts to realize, I am not just into cis-het men. I am into lots of different people from lots of different backgrounds and identities and sexualities, and she ventures out into many, many types of different territory. It is a slow build, because the story, like, proceeds along as she is meeting people and learning things. So it's a progression across the 8 issues, and right now we're on issue 3. So as of issue 3, she is still primarily interacting with men. And I believe it's in issues 4 through 6 that she starts to interact with other people. And by the end of the series, she is in love with someone who's not male, and she has worked on camera with many people who identify in lots of different ways. So she's like wide open and proudly pansexual by the end of the series. So that was a long explanation, but it is a really important part of the story. So I'm really, really glad that you asked that question, Summer. Thank you.
And definitely feel free to have any follow-up questions. That was an awesome question. We're here for the questions. That's what we are here for right now. So yeah, we're stoked
Here
about
for the
it.
cues.
Your question is part of our celebration. We're celebrating by having people ask questions. That's awesome. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
How's it going,
Keep throwing
Kel?
them at us,
Welcome.
folks. Just lob questions right into the chat. Or wherever else you might be joining us from. I'm gonna keep poking at social media in case I'm missing anything, so if I sort of zone out for a second, that's what's going on.
Yuki says, hello,
Yuki
hello,
Dog
Yuki.
Zombie is
Hey,
here.
Yuki.
Hi.
Prepared to have your day lightened and brightened.
Welcome.
Everyone put on your happy face.
Look at our new flag,
Cheers
Yuki.
for Yuki Dog Zombie. Welcome back to the circus that is the Jayel crew, Yuki.
Yeah, I thought you would. Awesome. So, Kale, I know you have a question about Tracy Queen, right? There's like that one thing you've been dying to ask about Tracy Queen, but you didn't know if it was the right time, and now we're in a Q&A, an AMA even, so like you're just gonna muster up all your strength and wiggle your butt and launch that question into chat, right?
Oh, like a cat?
Yeah.
Doing the like pre-pounce?
Yeah. That's how I picture Kel when he's like excited but nervous. No?
Sure.
It's totally the wrong.
No, I'm into it. That's how I'm gonna picture it now.
I think Kel's gone. Kel left us.
He's like, ugh.
Kel is a really awesome illustrator and streamer here on Twitch. So, Tracy's favorite pizza topping. All right. Ooh. What would you say, Lynsey?
Well, I mean, the easy answer is like everything. She likes an
garbage
everything
pizza, right? That's what they call it, the garbage.
But if we were gonna get more specific,
Like, which one of those garbage toppings is her favorite?
You're gonna hate this, but I'm pretty sure it's black olives. Sorry, Yuki.
No, it's Kale that hates black olives.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kale is about to rant and cry and leave and rage quit Tracy Queen.
I feel like...
Don't worry, Kale. Think of it this way. You can give Tracy all of your olives.
I feel like she really likes black olives. I think Tracy really likes, like, pungent flavors.
She likes dirt. She likes humiliated grape dirt. That's what Kale was about to say. I was speaking for Kale. I just know his feelings about olives.
I was gonna say I'm sorry because I made that up, but it's not true. Tracy is a very strong, very real personality.
How she is.
And she was whispering in my ear.
She was like, black olives. Tell Kale all about how I slowly nibble them
I didn't
and
know
suck on them.
that Kale hated black olives. I'm sorry.
Tracy knew, though.
I thought that, I don't know, I assume that Yuki doesn't like black olives, but I don't know that. Maybe she does. Oh, yeah.
I don't think Yuki hates them, but I don't think she likes them. Oh, Yuki also hates them. Okay.
Okay, alright. Well, yeah, y'all can just, like, put all of your black olives on Tracy's pizza. She'll love
Yeah, Kale, you can feed them to Tracy. You can pick them off your pizza and feed them to her one by one. Summer Sock says, what got you to write Tracy Queen to begin with? And another question, did you see that she was going to be that many of series? Oh, yeah. So, yes. Did you know that it was going to be that long, that big?
I think so. I'm not really sure.
Think back to like 10, 11, 12 years ago when you first had the idea.
Yeah.
Were you just like, oh yeah,
I mean,
big series of comics, no problem. That's what I'll do.
Well, it developed really organically. The character of Tracy Queen came to me first, and then the story started to develop, and it just kind of kept going and going and going until I was like, alright, I've got an 8-parter on my hands. And it even started out as just like I could picture the character, but I didn't have a plan for her. And then it just grew. into a story that clearly had to be a comic book because it was so out there and the visuals felt really important to it.
So what got you to start writing, Tracy?
Wait, do the long version or the short version of that story?
Well, Cal is another good follow-up question. So let's do the in-between version, but just,
The short version
we're buying vowels.
is that when I was in my late 20s, I landed a gig doing DVD reviews for an adult magazine. And this, I've always considered myself a writer, but that was my first paid writing gig. And I was like, all right, gonna make the most of it, I'm gonna review these DVDs. And I got really interested in the adult entertainment industry and like how it works and who's involved and how people outside of the industry perceive it and how people inside the industry perceive it. So I started writing about it as sort of a journalist and an op-ed writer, and I got really involved, and I ended up writing about the adult entertainment industry, aka the porn industry, for over 10 years. I started my own magazine, I wrote a memoir about what I learned, I did an art show, I made documentary films, I got published all over the place. I learned a ton about the adult entertainment industry, and one of the things that I learned is that people who make porn for a living are not just porn stars. There's so much more to them. You know, they're people and they have lives like people do, and sometimes I feel like that gets overlooked. So Tracy Queen's story developed as like, I mean, obviously it's a wild, over-the-top gonzo roller coaster of a story, but at its heart, it's about sort of making a character who does porn but has so much more to her also. And a way to communicate a lot of what I learned and the takeaways that I got from writing about it for so long to the reader in a really fun, you know, over-the-top gonzo kind of way.
Yeah.
So that's the short version. And you can totally feel free to ask follow-up questions if you want about any of that.
Well, Cal has a good follow-up question, actually.
Kale says, okay, real question. While developing Tracy as a character, what made you decide on Nicola as a companion character? What aspects of their personalities do you think they force each other to examine? Woof!
Ooh.
Those are some good questions.
Also, Summer says, wow, profound answer, thank you.
Oh, you are very welcome. Thank you for asking.
Shadowin says, good question, Cal.
Okay. So I'll answer the first question, then I want to get your take on the second question.
Okay, sure.
So Tracy as a character was actually originally inspired by someone who I knew, who I was very close to, who had just the wildest life. Like,
still has,
and actually it's gotten only wilder since I started writing about it. And I was just looking at this person and thinking, like, you should be a comic book character. Like, you wear this crazy outfit and like look so cool. And the person I was basing the character on had a pet ferret. So my original sketches of what I thought the character would look like had a ferret with her. Like, that was her sidekick. But then as the story started to develop, I discovered that she was going to need a sidekick who had thumbs. So that they could develop cyborg clone warriors and do all these other things together. So basically then it was like, okay, well, it's either got to be a monkey or a raccoon. And I feel like monkeys are way overdone. There's monkeys in all kinds of entertainment.
Including a story of yours coming up.
Yeah, I was already working on a monkey-based story. So I decided to make the character a raccoon, and I also thought that given she lives in New York City, she'd have a much better chance of running into a raccoon that she would develop a relationship with than a monkey. So, voila, Nicola. And he has his whole own backstory about how he became a talking raccoon and how he became so good at engineering. And that's in issue 2. Okay, over to you.
So the follow-up is, what aspects of their personalities do you think they force each other to examine? So there's a lot here. Nicola really forces Tracy to examine the cage she keeps herself in. He pushes her to think outside of the box and a little more freely, and to realize how much of her decision making is guided by rails that don't exist, that are just in her mind, that are just part of her upbringing or what she was told. So he really helps her to think more like a wild animal, and to just pursue her passion and follow her nose, you know. Whereas Tracy tries to, or forces even, Nicola to be more pointed and have more of a mission and more of a goal. She kind of corrals him into being a little more goal-oriented and a little more responsible for himself, and to have a little bit more of an overview and long-term planning. Basically, when she first meets him, he's just, you know, I mean, he's battling addiction, he is without a home, he is kind of just going from fix to fix, and he's doesn't have anything else on his mind. Later, you know, she ends up kind of deputizing him to so many different responsibilities and giving him so many important goals, tasks, and positions that he really levels up as a person. And I think that, you know, granted, no one can change anyone else, but by her giving him those responsibilities, she gave him a chance to find that part of himself that is responsible. So I think, you know, short answer is he kind of frees her a little and she kind of guides him a little. And those would be, to me, the most polar aspects of their personalities that they bring out in each other.
Wow, that was a really good answer.
Thanks. I've been studying your script.
I think also, I don't think that Tracy's ever had a best friend before Nicola. So, over the course of the story, Tracy makes a lot of really, I'm not going to say terrible decisions, but not great decisions. Some really far-fetched decisions. And I think that if Nicola were not there with her, she would probably make worse decisions. I think he really helps to ground her and remind her that she's not alone and she has help, and he keeps her from going completely off the deep end. She still goes, you know, into the deep end pretty far.
She does. She goes completely off the deep end.
Right, but I think that if he weren't there, it would be worse. Or she might just revert back to her life of crime. You know?
Shadowin asks, does Nicola ever hang out with other raccoons or animal friends? Or is that weird for him since he's smarter than the average raccoon? Well, there actually might be some other animals in this world that are of comparable intelligence.
Yeah.
Temperance from Pack might be of comparable intelligence.
True. It is. I don't think that he spends a lot of time with just random raccoons.
I could see him corralling a pack of raccoons to get them to do something.
Maybe.
Because he could outsmart them and probably...
Yeah, he could become their god.
I mean, he really probably could.
He probably could.
He could have a little trash band again.
Tracy's megalomania. He's probably a little...
Well, we'll see. There's future stories for him, I'm sure. And side stories.
Yeah, he doesn't really hang out with other animals, at least in this story. I think he's got his hands full with Tracy, and then when they start making the Cyborg Clones, he becomes sort of a father figure to them. So he's got his hands pretty full, but he is always referring to the fact that he's just a raccoon, so I think
a raccoon.
I think that part of him misses that
Tracy, just a raccoon.
Simpler life that he used to lead, but there's really no going back for him at this point. So, although Jayel and I have been discussing the possibilities of what Nicola and Tracy's lives might be like much later on, after the story ends,
Nicola.
and what Old Man Nicola would be doing. And
we actually have thought of a cameo for Old Man Nicola in a different story of ours that we have planned. So that's kind of fun.
Maybe we could give him a robe for that.
Yeah, totally. Maybe Tracy's robe. Yuki says, Tracy has found something she loves to do, so does Nicola find something he loves to do?
That's a really good question, Yuki. And that's sort of Nicola's struggle, I think, throughout the story, is that he wants to be more than just Tracy Queen's sidekick, you know?
Does he become more than Tracy Queen's sidekick
Yeah,
is the question.
but she's a lot to handle, and it's hard for him to really develop his own life, because she asks a lot,
And being her sidekick isn't a just sort of thing. Like, being her sidekick is a big friggin' deal.
it's a full-time job.
It's a big deal.
I think that this isn't exactly like a hobby or something that he like loves necessarily, but when they really start to get into making the Cyborg Clones, which is happening over the next few issues, he really becomes their father figure. And sometimes when Tracy is being, I don't know what the right word is, being very Tracy, she can be a little brusque, or she can get too busy with her own stuff to pay attention to them. And Nicola really ends up taking on the role of being a parent figure to the Cyborg Clones. So I think that really becomes like his heart and soul later on in the series. So that might be the thing, although if he were really like, you know, left to his own devices, he might not choose to be the father to a race of cyborg clones. I think that's the role that he ends up taking.
Probably isn't the path he would originally have thought of, you know.
Maybe not. You know, he does really like engineering robots. So.
He's also, you know, there's a little bit of the fool character for him, where he goes where he's called, and life kind of takes him there, and he's got that open door policy, you know, like, okay, yes, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, but like we're starting to think of like later in life, what would he do for fun? I think he would still maintain really strong relationships with the drones and with Tracy.
The ones that choose to, anyway.
Yeah, but like
these are some spoilers, by the way. But
well, we haven't written anything yet, so
yeah,
we don't know what's going to end up being canon.
Spoilers-ish. Spoilers light.
Yeah. So yeah, Nicola is still kind of an open book. And also, over the course of the series, he does really struggle with his addiction problem, and he tries really hard to overcome it. And we actually get to see him start to heal himself by assuming that parental role for the drones. So that's a really cool character arc that we get to see from him. But he never loses his sort of wisecracking sense of humor, and he and Tracy are like always sniping at each other, and that's how they show their love. So. Those are some really good questions.
Yeah, seriously. Like, wow.
Thank you, everybody.
So, we'll give everyone a minute if anyone has any other... Oh! Adrian, good to see you, bud. I'm gonna wait for Adrian's
wow. Adrian is here.
intro.
Do you know about the Adrian Has Issues podcast? It's a super chill conversational podcast celebrating the culture of creativity. If you haven't already, go check it out.
Okay, so that's a good follow-up question, actually. So, Adrian...
Right. Also, check out the Talking Like a Teen podcast, which is also a podcast that Adrian does, which may be being renamed Help Me, I'm Old.
I heard that rumor. Help! So... So Adrian says, will we see more development of the cyborgs, and will they express more autonomy? Adrian also says, lol.
Yes, there's going to be a lot more having to do with the cyborg clones starting in issue 4. At the end of issue 3 is when Tracy is like, I have an idea. Let's make cyborg clones. And then over the next few issues, you start to see them actually developing the drones, and first it's more of like a science question of like, how do we make this happen? And then there's training of the drones and figuring out how to get them ready for war, and in that process they start coming into their own. And Nicola starts advocating for them more, and then they start really developing their own personalities from there.
There's a little bit of like a Goldilocks scenario with developing them as well.
Yeah.
But because Tracy Queen is asynchronous narrative, we jump back and forth from like the future to the past to like the middle to like the future. So we get a lot of like flashbacks and flash forwards.
Yeah.
So there's really 3 different narratives going on. So we do get to see a lot of that. Future stuff developing early on, while also seeing flashback stuff later on. It's kind of It's cool. It gives you a little bit of everything, you know.
We hope.
No,
That's the goal.
we know. It's what it does.
Okay. Hey, it's still snowing. Forgot to tell you
snowing.
all, it's
Yay.
snowing here again.
Summer says, I tend to have technical difficulties on Twitch and chat, so I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity and all your answers and explanations. Everyone's questions are wonderful and great to hear. Thank you.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you so much. I'm so glad that you were able to join us. I'm so glad that you had such great questions.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're happy with our answers. And we'd love to, answer any other questions you might come up with over the course of the live stream or for however long you can be here for.
I like to think that this particular Twitch chat was meant to be, and that's why there's no technical difficulties for you, Summer.
Shadowin says, you had great questions, Summer. It was nice to have you here. And Yuki says, it's snowing there? Easter snow? You can make snow bunnies!
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's gonna stick enough. It's been hovering like between 25 and 40 degrees for the past week, so like sometimes it's too warm for the snow to stick, and sometimes it could.
If we put out like a metal tray or something, it would stick to the tray, and we could probably collect enough snow. If we put out all of our like baking pans, we could probably collect enough snow to sculpt a little bunny. But I'm not gonna do that because it's cold.
Spring in the northern Rockies.
Yeah.
Yuki also had a question.
Oh, did I? Oh,
what happened to Tracy's mom and dad? That is a sad story.
Do we?
It
get
hasn't been revealed in the story.
Okay. Do we want the spoiler?
I don't know. They are not around anymore. She was raised by her grandfather because both of her parents have died. There's more to the story that I could tell if y'all want spoilers, or if you just want to wait until it comes up in the story, you can let me know how you feel about it in chat.
Everyone who has an opinion, either write wait or write spoiler, and whichever we get more of, we'll say. We'll do either the spoiler or the wait. So you all get to vote. Cast your votes for wait or for spoiler. Spoiler, says Shadowwind.
This is a drum roll.
I'm gonna make a quick little coffee refresh.
Should I just sit here and drum roll?
Yeah, just drum roll until I get back. And then Adrian says, wait! Alright, so we're tied.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
We'll have to give a half spoiler if that happens.
Yuki says, is it really sad? It's pretty sad. I'm not gonna lie.
Tell it in a way that's not like...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like a... It's not that epic or anything, it's just... Summer says spoiler also.
So we have 2 spoilers and 1 wait.
2 spoilers and 1 wait. Yeah.
Sounds like your motorboat.
That doesn't sound like a motorboat. Oh, okay. Yes, it does sound like raspberry.
Wrong word.
Oh boy, I don't know how much you can hear of what Jayel is saying over there, but he has some imaginative ideas.
Alright, so we have 2 spoilers and 1 wait. Alright. I don't think we're getting any more votes. Adrian, you might want to hold your ears.
Yeah.
Yuki, you can decide.
Yeah, we'll take a minute and give just not a whole lot of details, but a few details for those who are interested. Okay.
And anyone who's just joining us from outside, from Twitter or Facebook or anywhere else, Discord or our emails, Dreamfuel, whatever. I'm just going to remind one more time for anyone that doesn't know, you can log into Twitch for free. You can create a free account, and by creating a free account, you can join in chat. It's pretty easy, pretty quick. So, yeah, just register, make a free account, and
if you
join
have a
in
Facebook
chat.
account, you can even just log in.
Oh yeah,
using that.
you can log in with
easy.
Facebook.
Yeah, and you don't have to download anything. You can you can watch in your browser from a desktop, or you can download the app on your phone. It's a very light program, super simple. So,
Adrian says it's okay.
All right.
You can spoil.
So the quick version is that Tracy was born in Japan, and her father was the son of the head of a crime syndicate. there. So
Hold on.
what are we doing?
I'm gonna show the crest
Oh, the Dragon Clan Syndicate.
of the Dragon Clan Syndicate.
So, Tracy's mother died of natural causes when Tracy was very young, like probably still a baby or a toddler. And that is sad, but it was not, nobody did it on purpose. She just passed away. So then she was raised by her father for a while, but her father was killed in a shootout between crime syndicates. So after that, Tracy's grandfather took over raising Tracy and moved to America with her. And because of what happened to his son, he decided he would never use guns, and his organization would never use guns. So that's why Tracy is so good with the sword. She's been trained only on the sword, and everyone in the Dragon Clan Syndicate only uses swords as weapons instead of guns.
Non-projectile. She also has a halberd.
Well, true.
Or a poleaxe, or whatever you call it.
They use bladed weapons, basically. So, that's the backstory. Tracy's grandfather really does love Tracy.
He's just a dingus.
Yeah, he just doesn't really know how to do it because he was also raised in the Syndicate. That's really all that he knows. So he raised her that way also. And that's how he's trying to show her that he cares about her. It just isn't working so well because violence isn't the same as love, but he's doing the best he can. So that's the backstory of Tracy's parents and her upbringing.
Yuki says, poor Tracy's mom.
Yeah.
Alright, so that wasn't so bad of a spoiler, right?
No, but it's some deep backstory that I don't think I've actually said that out loud to anyone. I think you're the only other one who knew any of that before, so.
It's pretty big stuff right there. Yeah. Well.
Oh, hi, Vlanders and Daijubu, by the way.
Ooh, what's that?
Oh, that's pretty.
Ooh. Plus 20.
Like
Illustrative magic.
That's very good.
Nice.
Yuki says, wouldn't Tracy's grandpa just stopping all the fighting stuff be best? Probably. Yeah, that probably would have been better.
You'd think so.
But I think that it was one of those things where, like, he moved to America and he didn't know what else to do. Like, he was raised to be a crime boss, and he didn't really feel like he could take care of her any other way because he didn't have any other skills and he didn't know what to do. And also, he loves her, but he's not a really great guy. So I think when he was thinking like, well, I could get a job, working at a supermarket or something, he didn't want that. He wanted to have power and money and influence, and he knew how to do it already. So yeah, he went back to a life of crime and violence because that's what he really wanted. But he felt like, okay, well, I'll give up guns. That should be good enough. And it's really not, but...
Oh, I just realized that's Summer S-O-C-H. Soch. I thought it said S-O-C-K, like sock.
Oh, no.
I thought it was
Maybe
Summer
Soch.
Socks. It could be Summer
Like the
Soch.
greasers and the Soches.
Shadowwind whips out an unimportant drumstick, points it at Jayel Draco, and really shouts the lyrics to Wonderwall. Jayel Draco ridiculously tries to tell everyone about these curses, but can never remember enough detail to describe them.
That's a good curse right there.
It's short for Sociata.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's really pretty. I don't know if I said that correctly, but I like it.
Yuki says, guns to swords isn't much of a fix.
Yeah.
Definitely agree.
It's a good point.
Definitely agree.
So, I was wrong about the socks thing. Oh well. I was
still
all
fun
excited.
for
I was like, look at all my socks. This is a very socksy environment. It's a socks positive environment here.
Yeah, we actually, on our last Tracy Queen Kickstarter, had a hard time talking about the campaign because we were using the word sex on it, and a lot of social media wouldn't show our posts to anyone because it talked about sex positivity. So we changed it to socks positivity, hence all the socks. And also, those socks are specifically the socks of one of our other characters from another story. You wanna...
Mr. Guy. That's another stream. Rainbow sock? We don't have a rainbow sock, but we could.
That would be a good sock to have.
That'd be a good sock.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Guy is a zombie apocalypse comedy. It takes place on a modern day fantasy world. So Mr. Guy is a half goblin. And it's a fantasy world like D&D style. There are orcs and elves and humans and trolls and all that stuff on this planet. Modern day as in they have cars and, planes and smartphones and VR and computers and all that, right? But then there's a zombie apocalypse. So now that's post-apocalyptic, post-zombie apocalypse fantasy world. And Mr. Guy is infected, and in order to cure himself, he's trying to save the world. He's trying to stop the zombie apocalypse to save himself. And that's the story of Mr. Guy. Bless you.
Thank you, Adrian.
You won't tell Tracy if you...
Thank you, Summer. I've been sneezy today.
So if no one has any more questions right now, maybe we could watch the Kickstarter video.
Ooh, we're very proud of this video.
And then we can come back and see if there's any more questions.
Yeah.
Or if someone wants to get in another question or two right now, we totally can. I just don't want I don't want you all to feel pressured to come up with a question real quick. So it's okay if we take some time
we can take a break.
Do other stuff. Or... Kickstarter video with bloops.
Bloops.
The bloops.
Like bloobs. Like not.
What?
Blueberries.
Oh.
Bloobs.
The bloobs. The bloobs. The bloolings. Alright, so let's do it. I'm gonna mute the mic and the music. Actually, I'm gonna wait for the song to end because it's almost over and this is one of my favorite songs ever. Okay. Bloobs. A cover.
But we gotta show off the variant cover episodes.
Oh yeah.
We haven't really focused on it yet. Things have been moving along so quickly. That artwork is by Sinuous Flora, who is a Spanish artist who makes gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous paintings.
Seriously. Let's actually... Oh, bloobs. My bad, you said bloobs. Boobs?
Where?
So, let's see. I do want to show off both covers real quick, actually. They're freaking awesome. Yeah. So.
So we have cover A by Sinuous Flora and a variant cover by Diana Camero that both use similar color schemes but have two really different takes on Tracy. Oh no, computer's being weird. There we go. Here you can get a look at both of them. I love these so much.
Yeah, there's a little Nicola in this one.
Nicola cheering her on. That's so good. And this one is the serious cover.
This is super serious and super silly.
Could you pole dancing with a sword?
And armor.
This is so dangerous.
I mean, the sword is one thing, but armor, pole dancing with armor, that's so badass and so wonderful. And those boots.
Oh.
I just really love the way Nicola came out so much. Yeah!
Get that money!
So and I'm gonna mute our mic for a moment, and this way I can play the video and not get feedback. You're not in favor of blueberries? No. We got bloopers.
Now I need to know more about your berry preferences. Are you just anti-berry, or do you have other berries that you prefer? It's very important.
So should I not mute the mic yet for the video?
No, we can do the video.
Okay, I'm going to do the video. We'll come back to berries.
Hi, I'm Lynsey G. I am the co-founder and editor-in-chief of Oneshi Press, and I am the writer of Tracy Queen.
Hi, I'm Jayel Draco. I'm the lead designer and co-founder of Oneshi Press, and I'm the illustrator of Tracy Queen.
Tracy Queen is about a young woman who leaves behind a life of violence to pursue pleasure.
She breaks away from her grandfather's syndicate and takes the world of adult film by storm.
But her success means that everybody wants a piece, and her violent past won't let her go.
Issues 1 and 2 are already printed, and Volume 3, I Want More, is 100% complete.
All we need to finalize this next exciting chapter of Tracy's adventures is your support so that we can print the book and ship it to you.
We're bringing issues 1 through 3 to Kickstarter, a community-oriented platform that helps creators get their book into their audience's hands and make a living doing what they love.
With your pre-order of Tracy Queen Volume 3, I Want More, this will be our 10th successfully funded and fulfilled Kickstarter, and we cannot wait to get this book into your hands.
Pledge now to get Tracy Queen 1 through 3 in print and digital, a thank you on our website and the book,
the Tracy Queen theme song, a custom Tracy Queen minifig, and even a 1/12 scale, hyper-realistic Tracy Queen action figure.
With your support, we're looking forward to getting Tracy Queen 1 through 3 into your hands.
Thank you so much for pre-ordering through Kickstarter. We couldn't do this without you.
So check out the rest of our page and pick the reward tier that's right for you.
You can also choose from some sweet add-ons to make sure that you are getting everything you want.
Thank you.
I'm Lynsey G. I am... Lost it. Dang it.
I am the co-founder of Oneshi Press.
Don't put that in the bloopers.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Bam! Nailed it.
There we go.
Are we back?
Yeah, but you could go to Jayel and Lynsey desktop if you want to also show art, but yeah, we're fine here. Whatever you want.
Ooh, I'm running the show. Look at this.
Summer says, any other berries is fine. Cranberry's a bit tart. I could deal with that more than blueberries. Thanks, Shadowin.
Interesting.
Adrian says that action figure and minifig are so effing rad. Oh, go to full screen. Jayel, Lynsey, Ken.
Okay.
And I will change the focus to
We're gonna
autofocus
show off
for a minute.
stuff.
All right, autofocus is on. So now you want to show off stuff?
Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. Check this out. Is she getting more or less?
You gotta wait for autofocus to catch up. So if you move it too much, it won't focus. But once you get it in focus, then just hold it. Get a little turnaround.
Yeah.
That is Tracy Queen minifig.
I love it.
Fully posable, fully Lego compatible, and other mini brick compatible.
She has her hair in a bun, like you do when you're Tracy on the battlefield. Love this little gal. So that's available as an add-on or in our higher reward tiers, and this is Le Pièce de Résistance. Oh, she has a little bit of a wedgie. Okay. Ta-da!
You don't want to show them that she's so realistic she can get a wedgie?
She's got a little bit of a wedgie. So this is Tracy Queen, the action figure. She's fully articulated. You can pose her just about any way that you can think of. And bend her spine
Close
background.
up of the joints as you bend them, like the knee. how it actually is like. How Chloe's old.
Yeah, and she feels real. Like it feels like skin and muscle. It's amazing. And it might be hard to see unless we figure out exactly the right coordinates for the autofocus, but she even has Tracy's eye makeup on.
Here, I can take off autofocus and just go macro.
There you go. You can see her eye makeup. We got the pan eye makeup. Hello. So right now, the action figures are available only at our top reward tier. But we can give you a little bit of a spoiler, which is that if we meet several more stretch goals, we're going to unlock them as add-ons. However...
I hand-painted that makeup on.
and did her hair. Do you want to...
Put her back?
I don't know if you want to play with her or what.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future we'll consider figuring out including these little Nicolas as well.
Yeah, we
want. Oh yeah, there's a link to the Kickstarter if anyone doesn't have it.
We want to have as many Tracy Queen toys as possible. And we're also going to have a little cube craft. I don't know if that's trademarked, but we're going to have a little like paper cube doll that you can get at lower reward tiers. I'm going to get up and get one of our other character. We don't actually have one to show off yet.
Oh, right. It's not actually built yet. I do have a digital mock-up that I can show.
But we haven't had the whole thing made. So it's like one of these little duties that you can make at home yourself. And it's going to be of Tracy. This is KF Catfish, who is one of our other characters. These are super fun to put together also. It's a really fun little craft project. So we're excited about having one of those for Tracy.
Here, I'll show you guys what the Tracy one is going to look like. So she's in her battle lingerie. You love the catfish one? Nice.
Me too.
Oh, and yeah.
I'm gonna like the Tracy one a lot.
Yeah.
She looks so smarmy. Like, hey!
She knows she's awesome. She's rocking it.
And her armor is so elaborate. Very pretty. So, anybody think of any more questions for us? And also, I want everybody to tell me what their favorite berry is in chat. This feels important. If you can ask us anything, I feel like I should be able to ask you right. So, someone did send in a question through Kickstarter that I wanted to read aloud. They asked if the third issue in the series, which we're funding now, is going to be more not safe for work than the previous two issues. And the answer is yes. As the story goes along and Tracy sort of like deepens her adventures in adult film, there is going to be more explicit content. It's never going to like become the entire point of the series, so there's never going to be an issue that's just, you know, nudity. There's always going to be a lot of other things going on. But it feels important to me as the writer that we are able to have a story that includes sex and sometimes graphic sexual situations as part of the story. And sometimes it's important that it be graphic so that we actually kind of contextualize what we're talking about. However, with all that being said, depending on your level of comfort with, sexual situations, you may think it's awesome and want to like get in on it all the more because it has that stuff in it, or you may want to tread a little bit lightly. However, Jayel has worked very hard on making all of that content as beautiful as possible. It's a point of pride that he's worked so hard on those pages to really get the feeling and the beauty of it across. across. So
I'll also point out, you'll notice that Dickie Doublefinger's page is not so much.
right.
So you can really see the difference in atmosphere, energy, just characterization, but also like the physical environment between Tracy's scenes and Dickie's scenes. They're very different.
Yeah. So Dickie Doublefinger is the bad guy. He's the king of porn, is what he calls himself, and he's basically this rich, powerful producer who hires people to make porn for him. And he sees the point of pornographic content as making him rich. He doesn't really care about the people, he doesn't really care about the content, he just wants to make things kind of like as gross and shocking as possible so that people will pay for it so that he can get rich off of it. So there are a few times over the course of the series where we see one of his sets. And the stuff that's going on there isn't necessarily bad. I mean, people seem to be enjoying themselves enough for it to work, but it doesn't have that same feeling of like beauty and connection and intimacy that Tracy achieves when she's filming. So Jayel has worked really hard on developing sort of like two different visual languages for these different situations to show the difference.
Summer says raspberries are good, acai berries are good, blackberries are good, and there was another berry, I can't seem to remember the name, but it's really good. Shadowin says, I think I'm torn between strawberries and blueberries, and Adrian says if cherries count, yeah, that. Well,
I think we should count cherries. Technically, they're not
stone fruit, right?
berries, but technically strawberries aren't either. And technically bananas are. So like, let's just go with what people consider
Are strawberries
berries.
really not berries?
No, they're I don't remember what they're called, but it's like this separate thing.
Is
it's
it
like
its
adjacent
own
to
thing?
berries, but
Yeah,
it's
because
not
it's like
actually
an ivy plant, right?
No, it's because of the way that the seeds are positioned on the outside, covering
okay.
it. It's like a super cluster or something like that instead
Right.
of a berry.
So there's also, similar to blueberries, are huckleberries, but the difference is huckleberries grow in more arid conditions in higher altitudes. So they're like mountain blueberries, and because of that, they get a lot less water than like lowland blueberries. Are very watery, they're very sugary, all of the sugars are very broken down, so they're very sweet. Whereas huckleberries are a lot denser, a lot smaller, and they're more tart. And a lot of that is just because of where they grow and how.
Aren't they small? I thought they were big.
I think they're usually smaller. Blueberries can get pretty freaking big.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
they grow on the edge of a lake, you're gonna get blueberries that are like that. I've never seen a huckleberry bigger than this.
I almost always have huckleberries in ice cream or pies, so I don't really know. But here in Montana, the huckleberry, I'm assuming it's the state fruit. I don't know that for sure, but we have huckleberry pie, ice cream, milkshakes, pancakes, jam, honey.
You name it.
Everything.
I mean, you can get a huckleberry steak. You know,
sure
like
you
you
can
can
get a
get
steak with
huckleberry.
huckleberry
No, you
sauce.
can. I've seen it. You can get freaking huckleberry in.
It's delicious. I feel
Banana berries, right? That would be so much more fun.
banana berries, yeah.
Banana berries. I like banana berries.
Well, I mean,
I don't think it was really understood that they were berries until like much more modern taxonomical classifications were developed by, specifically botanists. So like they were bananas for a long time before anyone knew they were berries. And trying to change their name to banana berries probably just isn't going to take. But I'm going to call them banana berries from now on. So.
Okay.
And when everyone's like, banana berry, what are you talking about? I'm going to be like, well, actually, did you know? I'm going to push my glasses up. And
Bananas are all clones. They don't even reproduce like normal berries do. They don't have seeds.
Well, modern bananas, yeah. Never developed that way. So, Adrian says, question. There's a subtext in Tracy Queen of creators taking ownership of their work versus potentially faceless industry, in my opinion. Was this a factor in developing Tracy and Dickie?
Bing, 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 bing.
Boom!
Very, very, very much so. So when I was writing about porn all the time, I started back in like 2007, so this was pretty early days for how porn worked on the internet. One thing that really bothered me was how little control most performers had over their own careers and how they were portrayed. And that's because like it wasn't easy to have your own website back then. There weren't very many ways for performers to take control of their work. So I was always advocating for people to like get websites and, you know, find ways to make money for themselves, but, you know, I was just a reporter, so what was I going to do? So over the years, I have seen that change quite a lot. You've
done a lot.
It's a lot easier for people to take control of their content now, especially with OnlyFans. But before that, there's cam shows, there's clip studios. There's a lot of ways for people to do that now that they didn't have back in the day. And it really was sort of like I wouldn't call it a war, but there was a lot of stress going on in the industry over the fact that things were moving away from the studio system, where you had directors and producers who had all the power and all the money, who decided who they hired, who got to be in the movies, and then how they were going to represent those people as far as like how they were portrayed, what titles they put on the movie, what adjectives they applied to people, how they described folks. A lot of the time that got really ugly.
Real ugly. And we see some of that in Tracy Queen too.
Yeah.
As Dickie is trying to get Tracy to work for him, he throws out suggestions of titles she can work on that are really ugly. And he's a very ugly person. And we do try to show that he is a problematic character. And we do try to go a little light, but we do go here and there. We show some examples of how problematic he is.
He's a terrible person.
And like, I think it's
sometimes I'll reread an old script and be like, oh my god, I can't believe I wrote this. But like I wrote it
to show how ugly he is, how bad he is, you know, and like it's important. You know?
And his whole character, like the idea of the character is picture the worst, like evil porn dude that you can imagine, and that's him. So I used him to express a lot of the bad stuff that I saw going on in the industry, but also to kind of be a conduit for like all of the evil things that people on the outside often think are going on in the industry, when really most of it's not that bad. He's just a convenient way to sort of show all of that in one character. But
Tracy's rebellion against that is super powerful. She's a badass.
Yeah. All that being said, over the years, I have seen a lot of that change, and people really do have a lot more power over how they're represented in their own careers these days. Not entirely, though. I mean, there's still a lot of the bad stuff going on that used to go on, as far as like people having sort of their power over their own representation taken away from them, but that's happening a lot more online, and not always necessarily by the people who made the content in the first place. It's much more like
after the fact.
Unlike Pornhub, the words that get applied to video clips are often so horrendously derogatory, and sometimes they're outright slurs, and usually the people who made it don't have any say over that. So
yeah, it's like way after the fact, right?
It still happens, but even with Pornhub and big sites like that, a lot of models now can upload their own content and have more control over it that way. So there's certainly a lot less of the like top-down grossness, and because there's been so much more talking and sort of activism and awareness going on about the rights of sex workers over the past 5 to 10 years, a lot of people in the industry are taking that a lot more seriously. Like, we're getting a lot less slurs in movie titles, and there's been a lot of changes about the way that things are done on big-time sets. So, like, now instead of, like, you just show up and you shoot your scene and then whatever gets slapped on it and that's the end of it, a lot of places are using, like, basically waivers where they write down what's going to happen in the scene and everyone agrees to what they're okay with and not okay with. They have entrance interviews and exit interviews where they make sure that people had an okay time and didn't feel coerced. And there's just a lot more awareness of like being much more ethical about it than they used to be. So at the time period that is being written about here, Dickie Doublefinger doesn't do any of that.
Oh yeah,
he's the worst.
He would laugh if you even suggested any of that.
Yeah,
He's
but
terrible.
Things have really come along comments.
Summer says, enjoy all the conversations. Thanks again. Thank you so much, Summer. We're so glad that you joined us. I hope you enjoyed this. We really enjoyed your questions. And yeah, awesome. Hope to see you around.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. You had some really good questions. It was really fun talking to you. Thanks.
Yuki says, I hope things get better for those performers. Slowly but surely, they steadily are.
In a lot of ways, they are. It's still a struggle because the internet is still a difficult place to make and sell that kind of content. A lot of places won't let you advertise or talk about certain things. But that's a whole other conversation.
One of the things that's drastically changing things is availability of technology, right? Accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
So it used to be you could only have a nice film camera and develop expensive film if you were rich. So rich people would decide what the films would be, and other people were lucky to be in them. And it was a take it or leave it situation. I'm gonna make this movie, be in it or don't. But now anyone can make their films. Anyone can make their own movies, so they can do it how they want. And so what that does is it creates a lot of options for the buyers. So now buyers can be like, ooh, that's gross, and this is really nice. I'm gonna buy the nice thing. And because people have the option now, and it's not top down, it's not a power play from rich people who were brought up completely dissociated from everyone else and completely out of touch. It's like these are films made by people who are actually in these situations. They know what's good and what's not. They know what's going to get the best performance out of them. They know what makes them feel empowered and respected, and they know what puts them in a position of power, so they're going to make the best films. And now that they're able to, because you can make a film with your phone, now that they're able to make the films that bring out their own best performances, viewers go, why the hell would I buy a movie from that frickin' racist old asshole when I could buy this movie made by these performers, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're gonna buy the better product. And now that people have better options, they're gonna make better choices. And if they make better choices, those old dinosaurs die of starvation. Not real dinosaurs, Yuki, don't worry. I just mean it as
dinosaurs as in ancient
old people that have been
outmoded.
doing things the old way that things were done, that are outmoded and outdated and have no place in tomorrow.
Yeah. And they probably won't actually starve to death either.
They're just gonna go out of business.
Yeah. Or have a much harder time.
Cranky old curmudgeons who don't want to change are gonna go out of business because now people can make things on their own, and therefore consumers have better options.
Yeah. So a lot of things really happen.
Dinos are much nicer. I agree. Real dinos are much nicer.
Yeah. Well, this is going good. I'm starting to slow down a little bit though. So if anybody's got some energizing questions, feel free to throw them at me.
Energizing questions only.
Energizing.
None of those de-energizing questions. I don't know.
Those enervating questions? Ooh.
No. Any questions that you have are awesome and fine. All questions are energizing.
Ask us anything!
That's what an AMA is. It should be an AUA.
Yeah, but nobody knows what that is.
Ask us anything?
Mm-hmm.
It looks more like an ooh face or something. AUA?
Oops, I hope that wasn't de-energizing. The awa.
The awa. Ask us anything. No, that was totally energizing, Adrian. Don't second guess yourself.
No, I mean, honestly, I could talk about adult industry economics and politics and performer rights all day long. I love talking about that stuff, but not everybody is as into it as I am, so I try to cut myself off at some point. But that's fascinating stuff, and it really has been amazing to see how much has changed over the past 10 or 15 years in all of that. I guess it's been about 15 years actually since I started writing about porn this year. So
it's changed a lot.
It's changed so much. And it's wild to think about, 2007 is when I started doing DVD reviews. It's also the year that Pornhub became Pornhub. And since then, the entire landscape of adult entertainment online has changed again and again and again. And
it's so wild because I still feel like 2007 is such a futuristic date. I'm serious. I guess I'm old.
I think so. I think that might be it. I used to think that in 2015 we definitely would have flying cars because I saw Back to the Future 2 when I was very young. And I was like, well, it said it in the movie, we're going to have flying cars in 2015. And when 2015 came around, I was like, what the hell?
Is this even the future? God, it's just like another frickin' today. What the hell?
Adrian says, I find it fascinating, but I know the every person might not, and also stigmas are still a thing, so the transparency is refreshing. Oh, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we do. That's like, we're not
There's
necessarily...
a reason that we're indie creators.
Yeah, we're not trying to do the mainstream thing. We're trying to encourage positive change for a future. We're not trying to ride the waves of yesterday that are fizzling out,
Yeah. And I think that in creative industries across the board, for so long it has been a situation where the people with the money got to choose, like Jayel said, what got made and what people got to see, because having access to what you needed to do to actually make the stuff was limited to people with money. And it's been one of the great things that's happened with technology over the past few decades is that the means of production has fallen so much more into the hands of the people who are actually making the stuff. And that's one reason that we are an indie publisher and we crowdfund on Kickstarter, because we're able, doing that, to make the stuff that we think is important and the stuff that speaks to us and the stuff that comes from our hearts, and put it in front of people and say, hey, what do you think? And if people like it, we get to make it. And it's such a democratic process. It's such a grassroots way of making art that really didn't exist, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And so we're so grateful to be here at this time and be able to do this. I think that one of the many drawbacks of the people with power and money getting to say what gets made and what gets distributed is that, I just totally lost my train of thought. Damn it. Oh, I had a really good, juicy...
I think that was all really
berry.
good.
No, but there was something I was aiming at.
Oh, was it a kind of berry?
Raspberries.
Strawberries? Oh, no, they're not berries. Cherries? Nope, they're not berries. What the hell even is a berry?
Now I'm just thinking about berries.
Schnozberries.
People making their own stuff. I don't know. I lost it. Oh well. I hope that the rant I started on was good enough, but...
yeah, it was good.
There was something else.
Well, we're making our own stuff. It's also a reflection of that,
Yeah.
Adrian says that was great.
Well, thank you.
I probably just distracted you at the end, I'm sorry.
No, I did one of those things where I was going in this direction, but then a little thought branched off, and I looked at it, and then this had already jumped over the thing.
Fair enough.
The thing about... getting to the side of his name... I don't know. It's bad when there are gatekeepers. Is the idea, but there was something else. Gatekeepers are not the best, and we don't like them, and so we make our own stuff.
Shadowin says, well, Tracy's fight for liberation really parallels that same journey as artists and creators as you two have been going on with Oneshi. Yeah, exactly. That's really the point, right? And that was the direction. Oh.
The direction was that when there are gatekeepers keeping people out and not spreading the wealth, or not when the creators aren't able to make what they want. God, I just lost it. Damn it!
You need some tea.
I do. I've only had one cup of tea today.
Some nice, soothing, human adult beverage with stimulant.
People think that
we have destroyed Lynsey.
Broken.
Shadowin wisely gives Lynsey a tiny presidential hug.
Aww.
I just picture Shadowin marching up like on a little tiny walkway.
I give you this hug. Probably a medal also.
Just like a tiny little hug on the shoulder or something, like barely reaching the arms around. It's like a little tiny Shadowin.
Oh, speaking of presidential, y'all, if you have Netflix.
Oh yeah.
There's a new series called Our Wonderful National Parks
National
or something like that. It's a nature documentary about national parks all over the world, and it's narrated by Barack Obama.
And he
so good.
is awesome.
It's so good.
He's a great narrator. He is perfect for this documentary series. It's just really wonderful. You know, it's really wonderful. Also because you know he doesn't have to be doing that. It's not like he needs the money that he's going to get from being on this show. Like, he's doing it because he's fucking awesome, you know?
And it's really
And it comes
good.
across.
The footage is amazing. Okay, I'm going to give one spoiler. And only one. There's a monkey riding a deer. Okay?
Oh, that's like the best spoiler.
Primo
Now it's ruined.
content.
Now you can't enjoy the show.
And we're only 2 episodes in.
Now you can't enjoy it.
There's
Sorry.
a lot more. Really,
Lynsey
really
ruined it with that spoiler. Adrian says, less Q than C. The sock is iconic. It represents so much of not only what you two do, but also a way to spread a message. It's subversive as hell.
Woo!
Awesome.
Subversive socksy socks.
Socks hype?
I love it when people call us subversive. Oh, okay.
Mary and the
point
Witch's Flowers.
The point was that people think that there's not enough room for all creators. Jayel, you're gonna distract me. When there are gatekeepers, they keep the industry small. Whatever creative industry you're in, they keep it small so they can stay on top of it. Right? And they convince all the creative people that there's not enough room and there's not enough audience for all of us to make what we want and find our audience. And that's not true. It's patently untrue. It's just that the people at the top are not going to make all the money anymore. They don't want that. And the thing that Kickstarter specifically has shown us is that there is enough of an audience. There are enough people who love comics or books or indie films or whatever it is that you're making for all of us to make the thing and get the funding and find our audience and speak to that audience, and everybody can win. And that is that's a whole system, a whole ecosystem that didn't really exist before. But
It's an
now it does,
ecosystem.
and it's awesome
Stick it.
that we can all make stuff if we want to, and we have the drive, and we just want to put our stuff out there. It is possible. And I think that that's the thing that applies to porn, it applies to comics, it applies to films, it applies to music, like everything.
Anything. Any industry.
You can find the people who want to consume the stuff that you're making. It's not easy, but you can do it, and you don't have to convince some bigwig in an office necessarily to let you do it anymore.
Why should I let you make your thing? Convince me.
Right. And I think that's the thing.
Convince me before I finish this frappa-lappa ding-dong chino.
Give me your business card.
Have your people call my people, babe.
But I think that is a lot of the subtext of Tracy Queen. Like, she is doing her own thing, and people love it. And Dickie Doublefinger is so threatened by this that he literally raises an army to go after her to try to stop her, because he is afraid that people are going to realize that they can make their own content and find their own audience and cut him out of the picture completely. And I think that over the past 15, 20 years, we've seen that happening in industry after industry after industry. And sometimes the industry, grabs back control and still, gatekeeps, and sometimes they're not so successful. And with porn, it's been a little bit of both. But I think that's a big part of the message of Tracy Queen. And also what we're doing. So, okay, that's it. I remembered what my point was.
Don't forget to read chat, Lynsey.
I'm sorry. I was just so happy that my memory came back around.
You're good.
Okay. Hence the oversaturation straw man argument.
Oh, I like how you
Exactly,
gloss
Adrian.
right over Raffle at Jayel.
Raffle at Jayel.
Thank you.
Was that for the melting act that he?
Primo melting right there. Stick it to the man or the person with money, right?
I mean, yeah, things do get saturated, but if there's a big enough market for enough people to be interested in making it and enough people to be interested in consuming it, then you end up with, like, niches. You know? Like, okay, I like paranormal podcasts. I don't even know. There's probably, like, at least hundreds of thousands of paranormal podcasts out there.
You could probably even find a podcast about people who like paranormal podcasts.
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, there's a show about true crime podcast people trying to solve a crime now, and it stars Steve Martin, like, and Selena Gomez. Like, you can niche down to the point where you can find exactly what you love. And I have found a true crime and paranormal podcast that is hosted by two really progressive, awesome human beings who are all about, like, mental health upkeep and, like, have made thousands of people's lives better because they've made people feel more confident about seeking mental health care. I mean, like, you can find what you want, and that's the beauty of it.
Tracy Queen is quite the niche down.
Yes.
I mean, that's really the point, is, like, we're niching down. You know, instead of trying to go broader appeal and trying to go low-hanging fruit and trying to go what's everyone into, we're going, like, what is the most specific thing that the people who are into this are going to get so into it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's the opposite. It's the opposite of low-hanging fruit. It's a tough sell. It's a tough build. It's a slow build. But the people who love Tracy love Tracy. She's not just another one of X. She is the Tracy Queen, you know?
Tracy the Queen.
So it's a niche down, and that's what we're doing, you know? And I think that's great. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely building an audience that loves Tracy for Tracy, as opposed to, you know, oh yeah, I like that genre, so I'm getting it. Because there's not really a genre that she fits into exactly.
Adrian says, remember how they said going niche was a bad thing? Nice try, gatekeepers.
Right?
Yeah, what else did they say? Get woke, go broke. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They say a lot of stupid shit.
Tell that to Taika Waititi.
Rename
Right?
card is here.
Rename you won't.
Hey, rename me.
It's a trick. Get an axe.
It's kind of amazing, actually. Like, things that
That
20
they
years
say.
ago we would have called a cult classic or a cult hit are now just hits.
Yeah.
Because everything has niched down so much, you know, with the exception of some of the major blockbusters. But even those, I mean, like, what are the biggest blockbusters of the past few years?
With the exception
Marvel
of Tom
Comics, Marvel Comics, and Jurassic Park. Like, those are pretty niche, honestly, but they have a wide enough appeal that they're still the big blockbusters. But it's not like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a totally not niche blockbuster. Help me out.
Anything with Tom Hanks in it.
Anything with Tom Hanks in it. Good point. Good point. Aw, Tom Hanks. Renee, we're talking about how finding your niche is the way to be a creator these days because there's no more, well, not as many gatekeepers keeping us from doing what we want. So feel free to chime in if you have any thoughts on that. Or if you have any questions for the Ask Us Anything, feel free to put those in chat as well. Shadowin says, "Oi, I gotta go feed the kitties, so I'm gonna head off." All right, thank you so much for being
except
here.
For the Burbs. Tom Hanks was in the Burbs. And
Except-
what the hell was that?
Except for the Burbs and Joe versus the Volcano.
Oh, right, I forgot about Joe
I mean,
versus the
that's
Volcano.
a comedy, but it's a weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not the mainstream mega hit.
Yeah,
You know.
the Burbs is one of my favorites. We should watch that sometime.
Yeah, I think we're probably actually heading out soon. Go feed the kitties. Oh, well, I guess it depends on how quickly you're back. We'll field another few questions and see how long those get us ranting for. But I hope your kitties enjoy what you feed them, and that goes well. Rename you all. What's happening? You got any questions for us? You love the Burbs? Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're doing a Tracy Queen AMA, so you can ask us anything about Tracy Queen, or Oneshi Press, or our creative process, or whatever. So
Or blah 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 blah.
Renee, did you see our video yet for the Kickstarter? Adrian says, thanks so much for this. Y'all looking at the Kickstarter is wild. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Hey, Viet, how are you? Oh, everybody. Comedian Viet is a streamer on Twitch, so please follow him. And tomorrow night he's going to be streaming, hopefully. Actually, let me know if this is still a plan. I don't want to, like, lock you into something if it's no longer the case or whatever, but yeah, I'll let comedians say if
the thing
is happening at the time. Renee says, yeah, I saw it. Awesome. We're probably gonna watch the video again in a minute and then field some more questions because this is really fun. Lynsey typing.
I wrote that because what does the first mean? Does that mean I'm the best?
Probably.
It says founder, 54-month subscriber. Does that mean the longest subscriber? Probably not.
Might mean that you're up there with the longest subscribers. There might be more than one founder. I'm not sure.
I like it. Makes me feel very powerful.
Comedian says, yeah, I should be finishing the Tracy Queen Funko Pop on my stream tomorrow night. Awesome. So we're going to call the banners. We'll post in our Discord. We'll let everyone know when that's happening. We're really excited about this. It's going to be really fun. We've shown you all some really great rewards for Tracy Queen, but there is more awesome Tracy Queen stuff on the way. Comedian Viet is going to be working on a Funko Pop on stream of Tracy Queen, and let's definitely do what we can to be there and show some support.
You know what's hilarious?
Nope.
A few years ago...
I mean, yeah, I know a lot of hilarious things.
Oh. Well, never mind.
But you could tell me another one. I don't mind knowing more.
Okay, here's a hilarious thing. A few years ago, we were at a convention with some friends, and I discovered that one of our friends was a Funko Pop collector, and I hadn't realized that. And I remember saying, like, I don't get the Funko Pop thing. What's the big deal with the Funko Pop thing? And then Comedian Viet started working on a Tracy Queen Funko Pop, and at first I was like, I don't get it, like, what's the point? And now I'm so excited. I have converted. The other day I started looking at supernatural characters as Funko Pops, and I got, like, started, like, trying to find the rarest ones. Oh my gosh. And now I'm, like, a complete convert, so... I just thought that was a fun
It doesn't
journey.
take much. All you gotta do
so
is
cute.
just start looking up Funko Pops, and next thing you know, you're like, you've been Funko Popped.
I want the Maleficent Funko Pop. Real bad.
Nice.
Real bad. I have like a whole collection of Maleficent stuff. I've got a picture frame, a snow globe that hangs on like a vine. Oh man. I have a friend that makes custom supernatural ones. Oh my god!
That's awesome.
Ooh, what would I want? If you were gonna pick any supernatural character, or any iteration of any supernatural character.
You?
Probably. What would you want?
Oh, what would I want?
Yeah.
Of any supernatural character?
Their name is Misty Figs. Alright. I'm coming for you, Misty Figs.
Probably Crowley. Hello, boys. Hello, Moose.
Maybe a Sam and Dean as Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Well, if it isn't Rocky and Bullwinkle. The moose and the squirrel are at it again.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I just want a Sam and Dean together. Maybe like some fun iteration of them, like maybe in their like FBI outfits or something, or I think just Sam and Dean. Really just Dean. I'm a huge Dean fan. But I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
I might want something a little bit more niche. But...
We just rewatched all 15 seasons. It was
took us so long.
bonkers. We watched like 2 or 3 a night for like months. It was like how much of this show is there?
There's so much.
How do they just keep
But we
recycling the
never
plot?
had to make any decisions about what to watch, so it was really easy. Just throw some Supernatural on there and you're good for the night.
Catfish and Blanders? Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Catfish Funko Pop would be awesome.
Blanders would also be really cool.
We'll have Bonnie talk to Comedian about that. But I'm here for the Catfish one.
I really want to see a Mr. Guy Funko Pop.
Do you
I
feel
like he was
empty
made
at night now that it's over? Supernatural?
a little bit.
It
I
feels
miss,
a little like, what are we gonna watch tonight? Like
I
every night we're like, what are we gonna watch after dinner?
I actually miss Sam and Dean, and it's weird because like the last few seasons of the show were
They were
not good.
They were
Not that good.
schlock. It was like the same plot, just like, okay, but now this character is going to be in this place, and this character is going to... I think they just switched the characters' places around, but kept recycling the plot. It was just like, what?
Sam gets
What
mad
are
at
you guys
Dean,
doing?
and Dean gets mad at Sam.
But it was so much fun, somehow.
But it
anyway.
became comforting. Like, the characters themselves feel like friends now, and I do miss them.
Oh, Our Flag Means Death. I really want to watch that. But that's on what? Like
it's
HBO?
on HBO Max.
Max?
I don't think
have
it's
that.
available on Hulu, which is how we usually watch HBO stuff. So we haven't been
They
able to watch it
keep
yet.
making all of these different services that, like, oh, you want to watch this one show? You have to buy this entire streaming service. And I'm just like, guys, fucking get on Hulu, Get on Netflix. Like, stop fucking with
It'll
me.
end up on Hulu eventually. We'll just have to wait for it. But we actually have a friend's Hulu account anyway.
Oh,
so
Yuki, it's about pirates.
we can't even upgrade it.
You'll probably love it. It's about, borrow a login. Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone has an HBO Max password that they want to share, I wouldn't be.
Just don't share it in chat here.
DM us. I really want to watch that one.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just have to rewatch What We Do in the Shadows for a little while to get our fix.
Wait,
Again.
There we go. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm sure you would love it, Yuki.
Yeah, I think so. From what I've heard, I think it would be pretty good.
Oneshi Press communal streaming fuel.
Fuel?
Well, Yuki streams all kinds of things to the Discord all the time, and it's super fun. Oh, if anyone isn't on our Discord and wants to be, no pressure, but I just always try to put this in chat
Yuki,
a couple
you're
times.
doing an Easter movie tomorrow, right? You can tell us about it in chat if you want to.
Oh, you think you found it? Oh, nice. This is your friend Misty, what did you say?
Misty Figs.
Misty Figs. Oh, yeah, for figures. Look.
That's exactly what I said I wanted.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's so cute.
Sammy! Dude.
Okay. Internet. I haven't done a deep dive looking for this, but I did try to find a supercut of Sam saying Dean. And I couldn't find one. I could only find one that included both of them saying each other's names, but I just want the Dean. So, like, if anybody is into making supercuts, that's my request. Thank you.
Hey, look, we got another backer. Ow!
All right. Hey, we are almost halfway to our next stretch goal.
Did we just pass our backer number for,
I don't know. Can't keep all those numbers in my head.
Let's check. So far this campaign has beat out almost all of our campaigns for everything else. We just passed the amount of backers that we had for the Becoming Anthology.
Can they see that?
Yeah.
Or are we cutting it off with
Yeah, they can see.
Oh, I see.
So, we have
Oh, we just passed the Becoming Anthology.
just passed
backer
Becoming
number.
for backer number. We're still behind Mr. Guy on pledge amount, but we've passed it for backer number. We've passed Tracy Queen 2 for pledge amount, but we have a little ways to go for backer number yet. Not much.
11.
11 more backers, and we've passed Tracy Queen 2. The only campaign that is squarely ahead of us right now is Tracy Queen 1. But I think we're going to pass it by a lot.
Yeah, that was a really strong start for the series, so we just gotta make sure we reach all those people again.
Yeah, I mean, we're at 158 backers. That had 177. We still have 19 days left to go.
Yeah.
So we could definitely pass 177 backers. And, it's not that... These are people. each one of those numbers is a person who's going to be reading this and is going to be, it's someone we get to introduce Tracy Queen to. And that's like why we've been doing this for 10 years. You know, like that is 10 years worth of work. Each person that we get to introduce this character to. That's like, it's impossible to quantify.
Yeah, but we do still like looking at the numbers, though.
Yeah, the numbers, they try to help us quantify it. We try to like get a grasp on how we feel about it, but nothing can really quite put it into a container, you know? Nothing can really explain the effort, the work that we put into it, the gratification we get out of it, the joy we get from someone telling us they like it, you know? Like, the closest we have is numbers, but even they don't quite mean what we think we can get from them meaning-wise. You know what I mean? Like, it's really confusing. This is the hard part to talk about, is how to like take it in and how to appreciate it, how to feel gratitude for it, how to even just fathom what that actually means. You know, 158 people are gonna read this book. Like, wow. You know,
158 people
so far
is twice the number of the amount of people in my high school graduating class.
Whoa, really?
Yep.
Wow.
So,
tiny little
if
school.
everyone I graduated with, plus like the next grade behind us, all backed my Kickstarter, it would be about where it is now.
Wow, that's huge.
That's pretty cool. Yuki says, yes, I am going to stream the movie Hop. It's about the Easter Bunny. Aw. Awesome. What time is that, Yuki? And Adrian says, doing these streams helps. It's great to have the community involved. It really is. And
yeah, thank you so much.
we also can't really express how we feel about the fact that there's such a strong community on Twitch and on Discord that comes out to support us when we do this
Team
kind of
Oneshi
stuff.
in general.
It's just, yeah, it's just amazing. I'm not always, I'm not always good at like figuring out how to fit into a community, I think. Like I don't know, I get weird. I'm an introvert. It's hard for me, but the warmth and kindness and creativity and just general awesomeness of the people in this community just like blows me away. Even though I am a little awkward, or at least I feel a little awkward sometimes about, you know, what my role is in the community, like I'm always welcomed and appreciated, and I always feel so appreciative of everyone, and I just thank you everyone for being here.
Well
That's
said.
I feel awkward again.
Alright, well we'll watch the video again
Okay.
while you're feeling awkward.
Hi, I'm Lynsey G. I am the co-founder and editor-in-chief of Oneshi Press, and I am the writer of Tracy Queen.
Hi, I'm Jayel Draco. I'm the lead designer and co-founder of Oneshi Press, and I'm the illustrator of Tracy Queen.
Tracy Queen is about a young woman who leaves behind a life of violence to pursue pleasure.
She breaks away from her grandfather's syndicate and takes the world of adult film by storm.
But her success means that everybody wants a piece, and her violent past won't let her go.
Issues 1 and 2 are already printed, and Volume 3, I Want More, is 100% complete.
All we need to finalize this next exciting chapter of Tracy's adventures is your support so that we can print the book and ship it to you.
We're bringing issues 1 through 3 to Kickstarter, a community-oriented platform that helps creators get their book into their audience's hands. And make a living doing what they love.
With your pre-order of Tracy Queen Volume 3, I Want More, this will be our 10th successfully funded and fulfilled Kickstarter, and we cannot wait to get this book into your hands.
Pledge now to get Tracy Queen 1 through 3 in print and digital, a thank you on our website and the book,
The Tracy Queen theme song, a custom Tracy Queen minifig, and even a 1/12 scale, hyper-realistic Tracy Queen action figure.
With your support, we're looking forward to getting Tracy Queen 1 through 3 into your hands.
Thank you so much for pre-ordering through Kickstarter. We couldn't do this without you.
So check out the rest of our page and pick the reward tier that's right for you.
You can also choose from some sweet add-ons to make sure that you are getting everything you want.
Thank you.
I'm Lynsey G. I am... Lost it. Dang it.
I am the co-founder of Oneshi Press.
Don't put that in the bloopers.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Bam! Nailed it.
While we were watching that video, Lynsey got beamed up to the Enterprise, so we are Lynsey-less for now. Enters unfashionably late. Oh yeah, we're like just getting ready to say goodbye, but hey, how's it going, Latina? Do you have any questions about Tracy Queen? Oh, we got a cat. Oh shit.
I just woke up from a nap.
Hello, I'm Chow. Love me. Baba. Baby.
He's so cute.
Monkey baby.
That was Lynsey's understudy. Hey, pizza cat.
Hey, it's a baby.
Just did a weird breathe thing that was like half purr, half breathe, but then he didn't keep purring. Oh, now he's purring. All right.
That fancy boy. He is a fancy boy, isn't he? He's a fancy boy.
That stare down was
Chow
pretty
one.
epic.
Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. I feel like Latinerd is just getting here. We definitely owe some answers to some questions. Oh, listen, it's the Zombie Adoption Program theme song by David Geringer, who also did the Tracy Queen theme song, and the Pack theme song, and the Mr. Guy theme song,
And the anthology theme song.
and the Anthology theme song. Heck. So yeah, Latino, do you have any questions about Tracy Queen or Oneshi Press or Oneshi Press making Tracy Queen or? So when is the album coming out? Eventually. I mean, that's the goal, right? We have a few more songs that we wanted to do. We want to do a Tarmux theme song. We want to do some Children of Gaia theme songs. And then hopefully, we'll have enough for an album, and we'll have the Oneshi Press album. And it'll be all our theme songs.
It's gonna be rad.
It's gonna be the freaking coolest thing to have ever happened. To us, anyway.
It's still snowing, everybody, in case you were wondering. It doesn't look like it's sticking, but it is still snowing.
Oh, baby. I went to bed. No, I'll get it after this, okay?
Snow command.
Thanks, you look great too.
Oh.
Look at Lynsey taking up the entire screen, even though she's so little. It's like Chow taking up the entire bed, even though he's the littlest
Oh, yes.
here.
The littlest person in the house. Oh, I am kind of like pushing you off the screen. Or you're just leaning over to pet the cat.
Both. I was leaning over to pet the cat, and then you took advantage and muscled in on me. Same physics, exactly. Exactly. The atoms are denser because everything is closer together, so there's more pressure, more critical mass, right?
Yes. Also, my spirit is huge, so when I fall asleep,
because the atoms are closer together, they have more energy that they emanate.
Okay, sure. So when I fall asleep, I stop focusing on holding it in so much, so I just expand.
So you fart in your sleep?
No, I don't actually.
Oh.
Thanks.
I was kidding. Everyone knows that you don't.
Obviously.
You don't fart. Just explode once a year.
That's true. Lynsey feels awkward about community. Also Lynsey, Queen Bee incarnate. But I have conflicted feelings about it, so.
That's good. That's good. That's how you know you're winning.
Wow, look at all those stickers.
You want to show them?
Yeah, Jayel has a whole pile of stickers here, and I just realized how many are in here. Alright, we got it.
Alright. I'll be right back.
Food Holes, our high-end supermarket chain for people who like to buy organic food. Whack Top. This is part of the larger Whack Corporation, and this is their laptop, which most of the characters in most of our worlds use. The pack logo for the 6 stray dogs and 1 stray man of this vigilante group that keeps the streets of Brooklyn safe. The Oneshi Press crest. This is our logo. It is also the crest of the Mytheran Great Nation in Children of Gaia, our fantasy series. The Dragon Clan crest, which is the logo / crest of Tracy's grandfather's crime syndicate. Farm State Mutual, our insurance company that exists in the Existentia universe. Whiskey, our brand of whiskey, which Tracy loves and exists across all of our stories. This is fun. I'm trying to figure out where to put my Food Hole sticker, says Adrian. And Latin Nerd says, I need that for my laptop. The Whack Top, they are available on this campaign.
Chow just took my seat.
Yeah. He's sitting in your chair.
Look. Chow was like, move your feet, lose your seat. Ah ha ha.
The banner behind us, the sticker, there's probably a sticker of it. We got this from pridepalace.com, I believe. They have a bunch of stuff like that, so you can check that out. This is Spooky, which also acts as the logo for the Mr. Guy series. This is a dramatization of Mr. Guy's sidekick, Spooky.
Cappy! What's up, Captain?
Hey! And this is a cute, adorable catfish sticker.
Tilt the camera down a little bit to see this beautiful scene. I'm gonna tilt it back up. No.
What?
This hinges. It's a lot easier to keep framing if you just do that. See?
Okay.
I was just letting you know so that if you want to keep a frame and return to it,
it's fine.
there's a hinge on the camera itself. But once you bend the gooseneck, then you gotta.
The holographic zombie adoption program sticker logo. And the Tarmuk sticker. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of this guy, Cthulhu Chino. Tarmuks. Java. And sock sticker. Those are all our stickers.
We have others that are not here. We have a Queen Bee sticker that's
Oh,
not
right.
here.
Why don't we have these stickers?
And we have probably because we did something.
The Great Nation sticker.
Great Nation. There's a few others.
Okay, well that's most of our stickers. I just looked at that pile and was like, holy crap, that's a lot of stickers.
It's not even all of them.
I'm not great right now, but I'm here to vibe. Well, vibe away.
You are great. You are great right now.
You're always
Captain,
great.
you are always great.
Not the sock! Always the sock!
My daughter does a fabulous insurance voice commercial if you need her for voiceovers. Awesome.
That's awesome. I used to do that when I was a kid. I would do commercial voices, and my mom hated it. Stop doing that horrible voice! Actually, I did the NPR funding drive voice.
Yeah, I'd be yelling at you too.
I'd be like, you can get this excellent NPR hit.
God, shut up!
If you donate now.
Ah, my ears!
We listened to a lot of NPR in the house I grew up in. So that's what I knew.
I'm sure your mom.
NPR voice is the best, said Adrian. Like the, does anybody remember that Saturday Night Live sketch with the two NPR ladies who have like a knitting show? And they talk like this, even when they're very excited. That one used to crack me up. She whispers Liberty Mutual spiel at me constant.
Oh,
that's so
yeah,
funny.
so maybe we'll do that for Farm State Mutual.
Farm State Mutual.
There we go. Look at that.
For all
Farm
your-
State Mutual is the GOAT.
For all your goat insurance needs.
It's really nice vinyl stickers, by the way.
Capybara says, I remember when I made a sock comic and never finished it.
You gotta make some sock comics, Cappy.
Tell us more.
Get those thigh high socks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
These do come in thigh highs.
Latin Nerd also inquires about my car warranty.
Lolo, says Captain. Ooh, thigh highs. Yeah, when they're all tight around the thighs, so you get that nice little, like,
Bulge.
bevel over them.
The bevel.
Yeah.
The thigh bevel.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Anyone
I don't think
who
I would be able to
knows
do a comic since
knows.
Capybara. Well, that is your call to make.
No, you could just make a single image.
Yeah. However, I am very interested to get the concept, so.
Cappy, I am still eagerly awaiting every single attempt at pages and layouts and drawings and characters and sketches that you do, and I'm loving them, and they're getting better and better all the time, and I'm waiting for your first awesome comic that gets printed. I can't wait to see it. No pressure.
Chal is sitting off to the side of the desk, whacking his tail against things right now, in case anybody was wondering. That's the
Hey,
update.
you're gonna make me cry. Why? I meant it as a good thing. It's a good thing.
Do 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 do. Name that song.
Can you go a little bit longer?
Do 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 do. And then I would have to start singing. And then I would do. Summer Lovin', yes! From Greece. Well done, Latin Nerd. You win some kind of prize. The As Big a Dork as Me prize.
Shalbert. Baby. He's like, why are you paying attention to things that aren't me? Do you see his little ears?
Yeah, I think they can. Summer lovin' had me a blast. Summer lovin' happened so fast. Met a girl crazy for me. Met a boy cute as can be. Summer days drifted away, but
There's some problematic elements to that song, so
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
there's-
gonna go any further with
Grease
you. If
is-
you're looking for me to sing along, I
Grease
just
is
won't.
problematic,
Yeah.
all up and down. But I watched it a lot when I was a kid, so I know all the words.
I wanted to find the old comic I did for you all and age it up to my current
Ooh,
skills. Heck yeah, that would be really
That'd be
cool.
awesome. And Teen Raid says the jacket is perfect for the song. I think that's probably why it popped into my head, because
Oh yeah.
I keep seeing it like on the stream.
He's like, why are you guys paying better attention to me?
Why aren't you just looking at me all the time? Not like that. Oh, I love the Fame musical. Yeah, I saw that on stage sometime, somewhere.
Okay,
I got
so
really obsessed with it.
no more Tracy Queen questions.
Oh, yes. That's what we should do.
Well, we might be calling it because it's been 2
Yeah,
hours,
2
and I didn't even
hours.
think we were going to be on this long.
Yeah. I am sleepy too. I actually think I have to go and make a phone call. So I might do that if you wanted to like hang out longer, or if y'all do, that's cool.
No,
but
I think we're
gotta
gonna
get going.
call it. So let's both say goodbye to everyone and wrap it up. Where can we get the thigh highs? Well, we have to get enough people into Tracy Queen and Mr. Guy that we can afford to have them made. So
Well, there's gonna be another Mr. Guy campaign
Chow
later
is
this year, so we
sitting
might be
on
able to
the
build up
keyboard.
to it. Wow, that's very cool.
he's like, what the?
Whatever, I was thinking
Who
my
took my
butt more.
chair? Why do the socks inspire me so? Because they're inspirational socks. They're in socks right now. They're
Inspirational?
sockspirational. I don't know. They're just good socks. They're very inspirational. These are the best of socks.
They actually are. The pair I have, I wear them like pretty regularly, and
I
they're
have
very
a pair
comfortable.
over there in the
And
display models.
they're warm and nice, and they've lasted really long too. Like I thought they might fall apart right away, but they're actually pretty high quality, and they've lasted me for well over a year.
Chow's
now,
like, they
so-
smell good.
Like I have to rub my gums on it. Thanks. Get you some socks, baby. Are they on our store?
No, but they should be. We should put them up. We'll put them up soon.
Okay.
So those, unfortunately, will only come up to your calves.
Yes.
Not even that high up on your calves.
If
like
your
the
feet
bottom
are
of your
very
calves.
small, you might be able to pull them up higher on your calves. I can get them up almost to the top of my calves.
They are one size fits most, in that they are men's small, which covers an average, like a likely average of many feet sizes. But, I am not a small, but I still wear them, and they feel tight, like compression socks. And I actually really like it that they're a little on the tight side. But,
not like
if your
uncomfortable
feet
tight.
are like much bigger than mine, they might not fit you.
Yeah, if you have very large feet, they might not. They are very stretchy, so I don't know. That's code for give them a try. Alright, folks. Well, Tracy Queen is on Kickstarter for 19 more days. This campaign is going to go until May 5th, and we are most likely going to do a countdown party for the end of it, so we can celebrate however far we've gotten at that point. Hopefully we're
Thank you,
doing
Adrian.
really well so far, and we're really excited to see where we go. We've got tons of stretch goals left to unlock. We've already unlocked 4, I think. We're well on our way to our 5th. We have really cool stuff lined up, and the rewards and the add-ons are fantastic, and I really hope that, lots of folks find it and enjoy it and come back for the next one.
Thank you, Cappy. So far, our highest amount of backers ever on any campaign ever has been on Tracy Queen 1, and that was 177 backers. That's the most we've ever had on a campaign. And right now, I hate when this sometimes. Right now, we have 158, and we still have 19 days left. So I think this is going to be our most backed campaign ever. A Teen redeemed. Stretch! Yeah, we're gonna have a little little stretch, and then we're gonna say goodbye, and we're gonna go do other things for
We're gonna read some
kicking ass today.
submissions.
Oh yeah,
anthology.
some anthology submissions time.
Yeah.
All right.
The deadline was on Wednesday, and now we have so many submissions to read. It's gonna be awesome. We're just gonna sit around and read
we
comics
have
all weekend.
so many submissions. This next anthology is gonna be the best of many people's best work. So it's gonna be really freaking good.
But we have to. It'll be fun to read all the comics, but then it'll be really difficult to pick which ones we're actually putting in. Whew.
Well, we have another one for next year for the Cohorts anthology, but the Destinations anthology is submissions closed.
Submissions closed, but we'll be announcing the theme and stuff for the next one. I don't know exactly when. In the next few months. We gotta get through this Tracy Queen campaign before we can really focus on that. So keep your eyes and ears open because we will be unleashing that information upon the world sometime soon.
I'll get it for the stretch goals. Stretch.
Stretch goals.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Oh yeah, having to pick between so many people's awesome work, it can be heartbreaking sometimes. Yeah. Especially when we get to the very end and we have like one more slot and there's a bunch of people that are like tied and we really love all of them and only one more will fit. It's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Although actually, we had a really cool thing happen last time around where there was one comic that we really, really liked, but we couldn't fit it in. So we wrote to the person and said, we're so sorry, but it's just not gonna fit. Maybe next year. And they actually came back and resubmitted for this anthology, and their comic actually fit this anthology a little bit better. So that actually worked out really nicely, and that may be something that can happen in the future also.
But all right, friends, we're gonna call it there. Everybody, you're awesome. Thank you so much. You know what? Let's see who we can do a quick raid with. He's kind of distracting me. Trying to see my screen, Bubba. He's like, I don't care about your screen. Your screen's stupid. I'm baby. Your screen isn't. Heck, let's raid Stevie.
Oh, Stevie's streaming? Oh. Okay, Latinerd says, scritch the kitty for me. These are your scritches. He's like, okay, thank you.
Alright, we're gonna drop some love off on Stevie Ray Drawn, who actually did the cover for Tracy Queen 1, and is gonna be doing the cover for Mr. Guy 2. I'm gonna type over here because Chow decided that my desk is actually his desk.
Capybara says, Chow's ears should be a permanent part of the stream.
Right?
So will just not be able to do much on his desk.
The raid has been murdered. Alright, thank you all so much. You're all awesome. Our raid call is going to be /me/me space all caps DRACO space ARAIDO exclamation marks. So it'll look like this if you do it right. Draco Raido! We're going to raid now, okay everybody? See you there. Let's go give Stevie some love.
Right, thanks
Peace
everyone
out, friends.
for being here.
Bye. Can you turn up the volume? Oh.
Hello, Raiders. Hello, Lynsey, darling. Hello, Laddie Nerd.
No one gets Latino.
My bot